Sometimes people are just plain mean. And sometimes people like to blame others for how they feel. And we all do it from time to time. It's not an uncommon thing. But I want to speak today, just for a few minutes, to that that person like myself who really does, really does try to learn from their mistakes, tries to evolve, grow, be the best version of themselves that they can be, who can't help but feel that deep empathy for others to the point where it makes them think twice about flinging their shit at someone, taking out their pain on someone because they understand what that feels like. That's who I'm talking to today. Those of you who go out of your way for people around you to communicate clearly, directly, thoughtfully, empathetically. For those of you who allow people into your lives because you understand that pain can bring out the worst in someone and you have a lot of compassion for them. I'm talking to you who still gets mistreated despite all of that by some of these people. Maybe there's one person in your life, maybe there's a handful of people in your circle, either adjacent to your circle or hopefully not, but maybe right in your circle. I know I've had them right in my circle too. Maybe there's someone in your life that when they feel, when you don't agree with their, how do I say it? I'm trying to find the appropriate words without being, I don't know, unhealthy, I suppose. But let's just call it what it is, I suppose. When you don't agree with someone's twisted story, manipulation tactics, or you don't bend to their egoic will, what have you, whatever the reason is, whatever the trigger for the experience is, and then you find yourself on the receiving end of nothing short of abuse. And abuse comes in all shapes and sizes. It comes in verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, obviously, right? I'm talking to you today because, number one, I had an experience like this very recently where a family member who I no longer will experience them as a family member because of their inability to be decent. Let's say that. I went into my Facebook today, just for a little context, not to like trauma dump here or anything like that, but I went into my Facebook today to go delete it for the first time, like I don't know, since 2011 when I started it, because it was just an energy leak. I don't use it. I don't like it. There's a lot of past energy on there, a lot of confused energy about myself. So I'm closing doors. I'm in a period of closing doors that don't feel like me anymore. And so it felt really good to go and delete that. And then what I found there was a message from that family member wishing me harm. And the moment I saw it, my stomach just kind of dropped. And I was like, wow, they really took that disagreement we had, they took it all the way left. I mean, they went dark. And the disagreement to me was very minor. But that person's holding on to a lot of pain. And I've tried to be there for them. I've tried to be loving and understanding and hold space, but also having to, protect myself, guard myself. And ultimately, they revealed a part of themselves that they had been hiding through their behavior towards me, which tends to happen. I am a projector, for those of you who understand human design. It's not uncommon for people who are pretending to be something. Meanwhile, in the back of their minds, there's something else. It's not uncommon for that to come out around me. My aura naturally can reveal truth, even if that truth is painful. But the feeling I felt, it really kind of throttled me a little bit. And I had to get my feet. I had to tap. I really had to tap. Because it's easy for us when we're in that hot seat It's easy to get swept up, especially, hold on, let me say this, especially for highly sensitive people like you who I'm talking to right now. Highly empathetic, highly extraordinarily empathetic, to the point where you think it's almost a curse, but it's not, I promise you. But it's so easy in those moments when you feel the heat of their rage, of their entitlement to your suffering, right? When you feel that, it's so easy to, number one, take it on as yours. It's easy to believe their intensity, right? It's easy for the thoughts to slip in. It's your fault. You're the reason why I feel the way I feel. You're the reason why I hate my life. I hate myself, or whatever it is, or why I'm miserable. And by the way, you're not. We're getting to that. We're going to get into that more deeply, but you're not. You're not the reason for anyone's suffering. I mean, not the people I'm talking to. You're someone who, no matter what, you can't help but really try to bring the light into a situation in the darkest part of the room. You can't help but do that. You can't help but look at people and not only see their pain and see the mask that they're wearing and trying to, hide themselves from the world with, you also see who they really are. You see their potential, you see their light, you see so many layers of an individual just by looking at them, because you can sense them. You can sense so much because you are profoundly intuitive and sensitive. It is a true gift. It really is. But it can feel really painful in moments like this when we're interacting with someone and it just doesn't make sense, right? That the interaction, the reaction that I'm getting doesn't make sense. So I'm hitting record today and I'm showing up for you today to hold space for you in hopes that you start to hold space for yourself. Because I used to spiral because of interactions like this. I used to think the worst of myself because of interactions like this. They only helped reinforce my own insecurities, my own fears that, oh, maybe I am a problem. Maybe my existence is wrong. But there are other ways to look at it. So what I want to do right now, like I just did for myself, is if this is something that you're experiencing, and if you clicked on this episode, you probably are. Or maybe there's something heavy in your heart from a time where this has happened to you, where people have lashed out at you in ways that just didn't make sense, it didn't match the situation, it didn't match a conversation, whatever. And it certainly didn't reflect what you gave to them. I want you to put your hand on your heart, your hand on your stomach, or whatever feels good for you. Hold your own hands, give yourself a hug, whatever, to connect to your body for a moment. And I want you to breathe into that beautiful body. Take a slow inhale into that beautiful body. Just be here with me for a moment. And I want you to first go to that space inside of you that doesn't want to be hurt by their behavior, that doesn't want to care, and tell it. And tap while you're doing this, honestly. If you can tap right now, tap while you're doing this, wherever you want. I recommend tapping on the collarbone point because it really anchors us into safety. And ultimately, these situations take so much out of us because it knocks us out of our sense of safety. It makes us question our sense of safety on a very, very deep level. So tap on the collarbone point if you can with me, or wherever you feel called to. And tell that part of you that doesn't want to care, that doesn't want to be hurt, that doesn't want to give this any energy, doesn't want to deal with this because you shouldn't be bothered by it. It's not yours, or whatever, or maybe they're right. Whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever part of you that is resisting this, that's resisting the experience and resisting how you feel. Go to that part of you. And I want you to tell yourself as you're tapping, it's okay that I'm hurt by this. It is okay that I want to fucking break down and cry when someone chooses to wish me harm or attempt to harm me or use their energy in a way to tear me down when I don't do that to them. It's okay that this hurts. It's okay that it doesn't make sense. It's okay that you feel how you feel. It's okay if you feel rage towards that person. It's okay if a part of you wishes that you could stoop to their level just so they can see how it feels. It's all okay. How you feel is okay. It is normal. It just is what it is. And what is cannot be rejected. It has to be accepted. Because as you accept these parts of yourself that are less than comfortable, you're accepting you. You're telling yourself, I've got me. I'm not abandoning me, which is what that person did in that moment at the same time that they were abandoning themselves. That's what people have done throughout your entire life. They have taught you to abandon yourself. And this radical act of saying, I accept how I feel right now, no matter what it is, no matter what it is, no matter if I feel murderous. We're not going to go kill anybody, okay? These are just our feelings. You don't have to act from them. In fact, it's probably best you don't. But they need to be held. They need to be felt fully. So tell yourself, it's okay that I feel how I feel. And it's okay if I never want to speak to this person again. It's okay if I want to set up a boundary so fucking rigid and deep and unpenetrable that they can't access me anymore. It's okay that I also feel compassion towards them. It's okay that I understand where their pain is coming from. It's okay that I'm not okay with it though. Because I feel pain, right? Tell this to yourself. I've felt pain. And I've been able to get myself to the point where I can choose to move for more awareness, for more love, for more peace, for more compassion. I'm capable of choosing that. Maybe they don't feel capable of it right now, and that's their problem. That's their business. That's not my story. That's okay. But it's okay that I feel exactly how I feel. It's okay that I'm not okay with it. It's okay that I understand it. It's okay that I hate it. It's okay that I don't feel like I deserve this, because you don't deserve that. It has nothing to do with you. This is the first step. Always. This is always the first step. Accepting how we feel, accepting the moment where it is. And you know what? Even throw in there, I accept that this happened. This happened. This person, they acted poorly towards me. It happened. Ignoring that it happened, ignoring how you feel doesn't make it go away. It makes it sit in your body and wreak havoc. It causes you pain. And my friend, I also hit record today to tell you that that is not yours. That message that was sitting in my Facebook account, that hatred, that wishing harm, it had nothing to do with me. And on the surface of our interactions, that can seem really crazy. Like, what do you mean? They're saying it to me. They're thinking about me when they're feeling this way. No, they're projecting. They are projecting it onto you, their pain, because they don't have the system, they don't feel like they have the ability, whatever it is. They don't feel like they can process it. They're not processing it. They're avoiding it too. They're avoiding their own wounding here. They're not taking energetic, emotional responsibility. And we don't need to judge them for that or shame them for that or hate them for that. You just need to acknowledge that it's not yours. You need to know this. You need to know that that's not yours. When someone comes at you so sideways to the point where it just doesn't make any sense, remind yourself that is not mine. It's okay that it hurts. It's okay that I don't like it. It's okay that I want to lash out and get a little cry too. But really, at the end of the day, that's not mine. What is yours is how you feel in response to it. That's your responsibility, not theirs. Even though it seems like it, right? They said that. Now I feel this way. No, they exposed an emotion, just like you exposed an emotion within them that instead of them dealing with, they flung it at you in hopes that you'll fix it. You'll fix it by changing your behavior, feeling bad about yourself. Whatever it is, whatever their expectation may or may not be. But that's not how you roll. Because you know that only perpetuates harm in them and in yourself. Your responsibility is how you feel. And there's nothing anyone else can do to change that feeling. You are the only one who can. You are the only one who needs to. Someone else coming in and saying something that changes how you feel or, holding that emotion with you, that's okay. That's great. That's loving, wonderful. But you can't depend on that. You going and venting to your coworkers, your friends about it. I mean, trust me, I did too. I went to someone in my household and I was like, I can't believe that shit was in my inbox. That's so toxic. But they can't change how you feel for you. They can't metabolize that experience for you. And there's no use for you thinking that it shouldn't have happened, didn't need to happen, it was pointless. No. Let it serve you. Choose to see that it's serving you in this moment. Because number one, it's giving you an opportunity to be more present with yourself. It's giving you an opportunity to set an energetic boundary within yourself that says no more. And that's valid. And it's giving you an opportunity to process something that maybe hasn't been processed. It's maybe been sitting in there. And the person I'm speaking to today, I feel like you take on these emotions because the only thing that makes sense is like, well, it must be my fault. I must be wrong here. I must have done something wrong because this doesn't make sense. No, it just doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. Because it's not a rational response. It's not a conscious response. It is an unconscious, unhealed, pain-driven, fear-driven response. It is the product of someone choosing to believe their fear instead of moving through it and working with it, because fear is not the enemy. Fear is an initiation. Fear is the sensation of expanding into something that is so unfamiliar, it scares the shit out of you. When you respond to that by believing the noise that comes along with that uncomfortable sensation, and you react to that noise, the negativity, the thought loops, that it can bring out the worst. Absolute worst. I've done it myself. I've been in that space. I've lived in that space. At one point in time, that's where I learned so much about this. From metabolizing my own toxic behavior, my responses to other people's toxic behavior. But when you allow yourself to process that fear, process that pain, and you, instead of figuring out what you did wrong, instead of trying to make them feel better, instead of spiraling into your own shit show, hit the fucking pause button. Not literally now, but hit the pause button on yourself. and be there with how you feel. Because it's taking you into a deeper relationship with yourself, a more whole, loving relationship with yourself. Because these things, hopefully they diminish in frequency, right? As we evolve, as we grow. But when your light is so fucking bright, and everyone has an opportunity to have a bright light, we all have it. But some of us, it's a little more obvious to some. Just like you can look at someone and see their light so bright, even though they might not see it. That will scare the shit out of some people. And when you feel the heat of their pain, especially when it's directed at you, you have to have that discernment that says, oh, ooh, okay, whoa, that's not mine. Let's go figure out what is mine here. And that's why we tap. Because tapping, it helps relieve that tension that comes up whenever the emotion hits. It helps the emotion move through the body in a healthy way, in a natural way, instead of getting stuck, instead of getting blocked up inside of us. That way we can think clearly. It tells our prefrontal cortex, our big thinker, the part of us that can rationalize and look at the situation from a higher perspective. It says, hey, big daddy brain, come back online. That's what tapping does. It says, come back online. Because right now I'm in the other part of my brain that's freaking the fuck out. Come back online, big daddy. Or big mama, whatever you want to call it. That's why we fucking tap. Because your level of empathy, your level of sensitivity, it is otherworldly. And it's easy to get lost in it. So you come to yourself, you metabolize what you felt, you separate what's yours from what's theirs. And you always need to understand when people act in a toxic way, it just has nothing to do with you. Just like if you act in a toxic way, really, when you peel back the layers, it has nothing to do with the person you're flinging your shit at. It has nothing to do with them. It's all you. It's all them. And that's why when we actually take care of ourselves and we love ourselves and we're gentle with ourselves and understanding and present and accepting, we don't need to act that way anymore. At one point in time, before I really got into tapping and before I learned how to process, I would always fight back. Always. I'd argue. I'd defend myself. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I don't know how much energy I exhausted fighting with people who didn't want resolution. I thought I was fighting for resolution, for clarity, but really I was just scared. And I thought I was the problem. And so I wanted to defend myself and fight and fight and fight. And I've come to realize very recently, I've been testing this. Past year and a half, I've been testing this with myself, with toxic situations I've found myself in. And I found that not only do I feel better when I don't respond, when I don't react to someone else's very, very toxic, irrational behavior, blamey behavior, not only do I feel better within myself, not only am I able to take care of myself then, but I walk away lighter. I walk away unburdened. I walk away feeling at peace with myself. And when I do that, when I get to that point, I'm able to be at peace with them. I'm able to stand in a room with them if need be, if the situation presents itself, and be in my peace and be with myself. Doesn't mean I don't feel their energy. Doesn't mean I don't feel the situation, but I'm able to make a conscious choice about what I'm going to give my attention to, who I'm going to give my attention to. And let me tell you something. When you really love yourself and you value yourself, which you should, and if you don't, work on it, tap on it, book a fucking session, because I'll change that shit. Not me, but I'll inspire you to see it differently. That's for sure. Because everyone matters. Everyone has value. And it's important that we realize that as individuals. But when you truly value yourself, you're not willing to give your attention to things that want to hurt you or that are so lost in their own pain that they have to see others suffer too. You're not willing to give your attention to that. You're not willing to even react to it. I mean, I had a situation not too long ago with the father of my youngest child. He literally shoulder bumped me aggressively over a petty disagreement, over a small disagreement. His energy, his frustration at me just grew so great, so much bigger than the situation really actually warranted. It was an inflated reaction. And normal Hannah would want to lose her goddamn mind. But that's because she was scared. She wasn't rooted within herself. She wasn't her own source of safety at that point. And this time I didn't say anything. I didn't text him a bunch of messages like I once did. I didn't argue with him. When he antagonized me a little more via text, I just ignored it. I didn't have anything to do with it. I was like, this is not mine. That is the freedom I want to offer to you today, because there are some of you that are sitting in someone else's shit and spinning in it and not understanding why you feel like crap because you're holding something that's not yours. You are not responsible for how other people feel, even if you seem to be triggering them. By existing, by being honest, by being authentic, by taking up space, whatever it is. By standing in your truth, by honoring your values, your perspective, your autonomy, by honoring yourself. Ooh, they're mad. Let them be mad, my love, because that is your energy doing what it needs to do. What you don't need to do is worry about it. You need to metabolize the pain you're feeling, the fear you're feeling, root into your own sense of safety. Be your own safe space, because that's where it's unshakable. That's where you become untouchable, is when you are your own safe space. And you let them do what they need to do. Let them throw a fit. Let them throw threats. Let them, whatever they need to do. And trust that that energy is going to take care of itself and that you are protected because you are your source of safety. You are. And sometimes, this just came through me, sometimes these situations happen to force us to remember, by making us feel so unsafe by someone else's behavior. That's an opportunity to remember where your safety comes from. That's how I got to this point, is because I was in a situation where I felt deeply unsafe by someone else's behavior, by their projections of me, by their insane behavior. Because it was insane. It's not rational behavior. I felt so unsafe. And it made me question safety. It just made me curious. And I started digging and digging and digging, tapping, until I came to my own realization about it. I am my source of safety. Me. How I treat myself. My relationship to me. The level of willingness I have to be present with myself. To hold myself unconditionally. To love myself without judgment or criticism or any of this shit. That's not your truth. You learned how to judge and criticize yourself. You learned how to blame yourself. You learned all these things. These are not your truths. Your truth exists when you sit in unconditional acceptance and love of yourself. And then you move from that love, from that sense of safety. That's your foundation. That's all you need. Everything else takes care of itself. And one day that person, both of these people, one day they will come and apologize. Actually, one of them already did come and apologize. And it's not about the apology. It's not about, again, it's not about them. But I say that to say the energy really does take care of itself if you let it, if you trust it, if you rest safely in your own arms. Because I know that the part of you that ruminates over people and how they respond to you, the part of you that worries about that, it's because you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe being yourself. And the only way to change that is to show up for yourself, is to put down their drama, their noise, and to get into yourself, to look at you deeply. That same compassion that you have for them, it needs to come to you now. Just because you understand where their pain's coming from, it doesn't mean that you need to give them access to you. Just because they apologize or somehow seem like they've come to the light, you do not need to give them access to you. And if you are rooted in yourself, if you are managing your own sense of safety from within through your relationship to yourself, you will know very clearly, intuitively, who to let in and who not to let in. And I know very clearly these two people that have recently behaved in a certain way, no matter how much I can understand that that's not even their true self, like that's not even what they really feel. They just feel profoundly unsafe within themselves. I can see that. I can recognize that. And I can have love for them. While I can also say, but no, fuck you. You will not be in my life. You will not have any access to me because you are willing to hurt me. You are willing to go there where I am unwilling. Even as you hurt me right now, I am unwilling to do that to you because I understand what I'm doing. I don't expect them to have that level of consciousness, but I do expect myself to protect myself because I'm the only one who really can. And the same is true for you. Heavy stuff, right? My goodness. If you've been tapping this whole time, you're welcome to come to a stopping point or continue if this is resonating and you feel like, oh, okay. So I felt bad because of how they felt, but really I need to check in on that, on how I feel. I need to check in on me. Keep tapping while you do that. That's going to help you metabolize those emotions. So you can actually reap the blessing coming from them that they're offering to you, because they are offering you a blessing. And that blessing is a more connected relationship to yourself, more wholeness within yourself, a real sense of safety that nobody can fuck with. Not a changing circumstance, not a bank balance, not someone threatening you or whatever. Nothing can actually rattle your sense of safety when it's rooted in you. So I hope if you take anything from this today, it's you are not responsible for their pain and their suffering. You're responsible for you and how you feel. So you can let it go. That was the hardest part for me, was letting it go, letting go of that visual in my head of them saying that message flashing in my mind, right? Whatever it is. You are welcome and safe to let it go. And you let it go by processing how you feel, honestly, unconditionally, holding space for all the parts of you that are screaming at you in that moment. They need to be held by you, not by someone else, not by anything else, by you, by your presence. And I hope that you walk away from this feeling empowered to set some boundaries, to close some doors. Because anyone who's willing to destroy you, to make themselves feel a little bit more comfortable, they do not need access to you. I don't give a shit how compassionate or how understanding you are. They do not need access to you. You are sacred. Your sensitivity is sacred. It has a purpose. And it is not to be a dumping ground for others. Hear me when I say that. You are not a fucking dumpster bin. You are how do I say this? You're a God experiencing itself, just like they are. But you get to live from that awareness. And God is whatever you want it to be. I don't say God in a specific context. For me, it's love. For me, God is unconditional love. It is not a being, it is a presence, it is an energy, it is everything. It is everything. And that's how I know that it's all serving me. I've also proven that to myself time and time again. And you can too. So tap through it. I invite you to tap through any of these situations that might be happening in your life right now. Tap while you're talking through it with yourself. Hold space for all the parts of you, the ragey parts of you, the psycho parts of you that want to be real crazy, the part of you that's sad, the part of you that's really hurt, the part of you that's disappointed, the part of you that just knows they don't deserve it, and the part of you that understands, the part of you that loves anyway. Hold space for all those parts of you. That's how you create the safety in your body. You accept them, you love them unconditionally. That's what you deserve, is unconditional love. And they do too. But unconditional love doesn't always mean access. So it's okay if you take away access. Okay. I think I'm feeling my energy come to a close here. And I hope I've left you feeling a little more rooted, a little more empowered, especially if you're experiencing this right now. And if this is something, if there's a really challenging situation or relationship in your life that you just can't see through and you feel like you're sinking in it, I'm more than happy to hold the space for you and help you see the light and help you see it from your own truth. Not mine, yours. But okay, my friends, you guys know how to find me. You guys know how to book with me should you feel called to. And of course, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do. But I love you guys, and I will catch you in the next episode.